I found out that my husband and his ex-wife were having an affair under my roof while making me the main caregiver of their children. So I'm ending this charade, serving him with divorce papers. My husband and I have been married for 4 years. I came into my stepdaughter's life when she was 10. Both she and my stepson were somewhat neglected and had behavior issues when I met them. My husband and Eric aren't bad parents, but he travels a lot for work, and she is a bit flighty and self-indulgent. Kyla and I hit it off well, and I love both step-kids. We all co-parented well, with me taking on a more active role in their school. Both husband and his ex-wife were satisfied with me doing the grunt work for the kids. They both travel a lot, and I became the sole parent who was fully engaged. I own a 3-bedroom house inherited from my parents, and my husband and kids moved in to live with me. Kids love their rooms in our home and their lives in our town. Their custody arrangement on paper is 50-50, but their mom doesn't have as much space as I do, so the kids are here almost full-time. A few months ago, I returned from an overnight school field trip with my stepson to a distraught Kyla. She found her parents together in my bedroom and was upset about their cheating. I was devastated to hear this from her. After some sleuthing, I found out that their affair had been going on for months and possibly a whole year. I've been trying to get pregnant for the past 2 years, and we were having very frequent intimacy. Realizing that my husband was sleeping with us back to back was especially nauseating for me. I have filed for divorce and asked him to leave. He doesn't want this marriage to end and seems convinced I'll change my mind, but he agreed to a separation and has moved out to an apartment. Kyla was mad at her parents and wanted to continue living with me. Neither of them is taking steps to move out the kids who are still living in their rooms and living their lives as if this family hasn't imploded. I'd have been happy with having the kids with me, but my problem is that my husband and the kids' mom feel free to come into my house whenever they feel like it. Because their kids are here, she feels no guilt about the cheating and acts as if I am the interloper. She treats me like I am their nanny, expecting me to continue taking care of things for the kids and leaving me with instructions and criticisms. Meanwhile, Eric frequently drops by under the guise of seeing the kids but keeps trying to persuade me to let him move back. I love Kyla, and I don't want to do anything to hurt her further, but I can't take living like this. Update: I talked with different lawyers to see what I could do. What I found out wasn't very promising, and the lawyer retainer fee for a custody fight is too high. The day after I made the post, I was going to be home late and had asked Kyla to reheat the frozen lasagna I had made for dinner. When I arrived home, it was to the kids having a meal with Eric and their mom. I'll call her Marion. Marion had turned it into a family dinner and set out the food I had made on my formal dining table with my excellent dishes. She had created a pretty family moment with her and Eric under my roof. I completely lost it at that point. I regret to say I behaved abominably, screaming at her and Eric and telling them to get the hell out of my house. This happened in front of Ron, who was pretty shocked. I had kept him out of most of this mess. After my breakdown, I needed some time away, so I drove out to spend the weekend with my cousin. Kyla wanted to accompany me, so we left Ron with his dad. She hadn't invited her parents, her mom had shown up, and then she invited Eric for dinner. Kyla hadn't anticipated that I'd get this upset. After we returned, I told Marion that she shouldn't come over anymore and that I'd report her for trespassing if she did. Marion didn't believe me and showed up to talk, and I lost it at her, and this time, I did call the cops. They nicely asked her to leave, and she did. Ron was distraught with me for this. Marion showed up again the next day, acting sweet and telling me I was being unreasonable. Unfortunately, I became unhinged at this and swore and yelled at her. Ron shoved me and screamed at me to shut up. I fell on my butt and was shocked into silence. Marion was surprised too and left immediately, whereas Ron ran and locked himself in his room. He called his dad to get him, but he was out of town, and Marion ignored his calls. Ron is a very loving kid, so his reaction was heartbreaking. The rest of the week was bad, with Ron angry at me and refusing to talk. When his dad got back in town, he came and got him. Ron told him he didn't want to live with me anymore. A few days later, Eric wanted me to return Ron, but the kid didn't want to return. I told Eric I would not force him, and Eric got pretty mad at me. He wanted me to fix the situation somehow. Eric became pretty mean when I refused to make Ron stay with me. He said a lot of ugly things, the worst being that he's relieved I didn't get pregnant because I'd make an awful mother. I was afraid of things turning out this way, but I've got Eric and Marion out of my house, which is a relief. Kyla is going to live with me till she moves out to college. Eric is struggling to find childcare for Ron and is so angry at me that I think he'll no longer slow down the divorce.